Homework is dead. Well, let's just say it. Let's get it out there, right at the top. The thing that has defined the evenings of students for, what, a century? It's over. It has ceased to be, expired and gone to meet its maker. This is not a controversial statement. It shouldn't be here in late 2025. It is simply an observation of reality. The nightly ritual of worksheets, problem sets, forced march essays has been rendered obsolete. The final definitive nail in its coffin wasn't a school board policy, a revolutionary education theory. It was the quiet, unassuming arrival of artificial intelligence into the mainstream. AI didn't kill homework, not really. It exposed that homework was already on life support. The truth we must confront: honesty, a little bit of grace. Homework was already broken. It was a relic from a different time, an industrial age model of education designed for a world that no longer exists. Marketing image: 1950s student buried in textbooks black and white, or modern student with a sleek tablet. We sent kids home with repetitive tasks, not to foster deep understanding, to drill compliance, to fill time. It was built on the assumption that learning was measured in completed worksheets. We pretended it was about rigor. For many students, it was just about getting it done. The goal wasn't mastery. The goal was completion. We find ourselves at a funeral, but this is not a sad occasion. This is a moment for liberation. We are not mourning a valuable pedagogical tool. We are celebrating the end of a system that bred anxiety, not insight. It has widened gaps between the privileged and the less privileged. It has turned learning, which should be an act of joyous discovery, into a chore, a burden, a thing to be endured rather than embraced. So let's not shed any tears for the demise of traditional homework. Instead, let's perform an autopsy, understand why it failed, and joyfully build what comes next. The world has changed. The tools at our disposal have changed. The skills required to navigate our complex, interconnected, rapidly evolving society have changed. It's irresponsible to cling to practices from a bygone era. We wouldn't teach blacksmithing as a core vocational skill in 2025, would we? So why assign tasks a machine can do better and faster? The death of homework isn't a crisis. It's an opportunity. A chance to rethink what we value in education and to finally assess the things that actually matter. The future is here, and it demands more from us. Let's get specific. What were the pre-existing conditions that made homework so vulnerable? The first major problem: repetition over genuine understanding. Think about the classic math worksheet. Side by side, dense math worksheet or interactive tablet geometry interface. 30 nearly identical problems. The student who understands the concept is bored by problem 5. The student who doesn't is frustrated by problem 2. They then spend the next hour practicing their confusion. It doesn't build mastery, it builds resentment. It treats the human brain like a dumb machine. But we are not machines. Learning is not a factory assembly line. It's a messy, beautiful, human process. Second core problem: homework became a measure of compliance, not comprehension. Grades awarded for turning something in on time. It measured instruction following, time management, and home stability. Did the student truly grasp the French Revolution? The worksheet doesn't know. It only knows if blanks are filled. Education becomes hoop jumping. The prize is a point in the gradebook. A tragic misallocation of a young person's time and curiosity. Third problem: homework rarely provided useful feedback. Students submit and wait days. By then, the lesson has moved on. Effective learning requires a tight feedback loop. You try something. You get it wrong. You see why. You try again immediately. Traditional homework creates a feedback desert. The system prioritizes repetition over understanding. It measures compliance instead of knowledge. It offers feedback that is delayed and unhelpful. This system wasn't poised for a long, healthy life. It was riddled with foundational flaws long before AI. The rise of AI didn't create the problem. It simply held up a giant mirror, forcing us to finally look. Beyond its pedagogical failings, traditional homework was an engine of inequity. It assumed every student had a quiet desk, stable internet, available and educated parents, and the luxury of unstructured time. This is, to put it mildly, a fantasy. For many students, after school is responsibility, noise, survival. It is a profoundly unjust system. Consider two students. One goes home to a quiet house. A parent who understands calculus can help them with their problem set. Fast laptop, reliable Wi-Fi, dedicated study space. The other goes home to a small, crowded apartment, watches siblings, parents work late, limited English, shared spotty internet. Who has an easier time? The homework isn't measuring knowledge, it's measuring privilege. This isn't hypothetical. Study after study shows this disparity. Research from the National Center for Education Statistics has consistently highlighted the homework gap. In 2025, this is not a luxury. It is a basic utility required for participation in modern life, let alone education. By assigning work that requires this access, schools are, in effect, penalizing students for their family's economic circumstances. It's a systemic failure that punishes the very students who often need the most support, creating a cycle of disadvantage. So, when we talk about homework, we are not just talking about worksheets. We are talking about a structure that actively perpetuates social and economic inequality. It takes the existing gaps in our society and amplifies them, sending the message to some students that they'll always be one step behind because of circumstances, not intelligence or effort. Killing homework isn't just about updating methods. It's a matter of social justice. It's about creating a learning environment that gives every single student a fair shot at success. And then, everything changed. Or rather, the thing that forced us to admit it finally showed up. Artificial intelligence, specifically generative AI, large language models, went from a niche concept to a tool on every phone and laptop. Suddenly, the tasks that formed the bedrock of homework became trivial. Need an essay? Done in 10 seconds. Solve for X? Steps and answer instantly. Translate a paragraph? No problem. The machine can do it. This is not a future prediction. This is the reality of December 2025. Students already have access to these tools. Surveys show upwards of 70% use generative AI for schoolwork. To expect them not to is like expecting a carpenter to use a handsaw when a power saw is right there. It's an absurd expectation. The work we were assigning was, it turns out, machine work. The capabilities are staggering. AI can draft essays, write code, solve complex mathematical problems, summarize dense texts, analyze data sets, create presentations. It can act as a debate partner, a brainstorming assistant, a personal tutor. It can explain a concept in a dozen ways until one clicks. The sheer power of these tools has fundamentally broken the old homework paradigm. The game is up. We can no longer assign tasks that are merely a test of whether a student can type a prompt into an AI. We can either pour energy into a doomed arms race with detectors, or we can accept reality. There's a machine exceptionally good at 20th century homework. This isn't a cause for despair, it's a cause for reevaluation. The ghost in the machine isn't here to haunt us. It's here to liberate us from drudgery and push us towards something far more human. When teachers express fear about AI, the word they often use is cheating. But I don't think that's the real fear. The real, deeper fear is about obsolescence. It's the anxiety that the methods we've used for decades, the lesson plans we've perfected, the assignments we've graded year after year, have suddenly become irrelevant. It's the realization that much of what we've asked students to do is no longer a meaningful measure of human intelligence or effort. Think about it. If an AI can write a B+ essay in seconds, what does that say about the assignment? It doesn't say the student is a cheater. It says the assignment was formulaic, replicable by a machine trained on massive datasets of formulaic essays. The AI's success reflects the assignment's lack of creativity and critical depth. This is a professional identity crisis. Teachers as gatekeepers of information and evaluators of products, yet AI has democratized information and automated those products. So, what is the teacher's role now? It's terrifying and exciting. It forces us to move up the value chain, away from grading worksheets toward architecting learning experiences, coaching critical thinking, guiding students through a complex world. The fear is understandable, but it's a trap. If we let it guide us, we'll ban phones, block websites, invest in surveillance, and burn out. The alternative is to embrace the shift, to acknowledge that our old role is obsolete, and to step into our new, more important role. A facilitator of skills that machines can't replicate. The fear is real, but our courage to evolve must be greater, So if we aren't assigning worksheets and 5-paragraph essays, what are we doing? What skills do students actually need to thrive in 2025 and beyond? The answer is simple. They need the skills that AI doesn't have. They need durable human skills becoming more valuable in a world saturated with AI. The new curriculum looks different, less about memorizing facts and more about what you can do with them. It's about being human in a world of machines. First and foremost is critical thinking and complex problem solving, scoping messy problems, breaking them down, evaluating multiple sources, identifying biases, synthesizing into a coherent solution. AI can give data, but it can't interview stakeholders, survey residents, or design a culturally aware campaign. That takes ingenuity and empathy. Next comes creativity and collaboration. In a world of generic outputs, originality is a superpower, and it's built together through iteration and failure. The toughest challenges, from climate to public health, are solved by diverse teams who communicate, compromise, and build on ideas. Finally, digital literacy and AI collaboration. Banning AI is not an option. We must teach wise, ethical, effective use. This is the new digital literacy. It means understanding how to write a good prompt, how to fact-check an AI's output, and recognizing inherent biases in these systems. Learn to partner with AI to handle the grunt work so humans focus on higher-order thinking, strategy, and creative leaps. The narrative that AI is just a cheating machine is not only wrong, it's a tragic failure of imagination. Used correctly, AI is the most powerful learning tool ever invented. A personalized tutor, tireless researcher, and Socratic debate partner. Available 24/7. The goal isn't to work harder at old things, but to work smarter with new tools. One of the most powerful applications is instant personalized feedback, code analysis line by line, immediate error explanations, conversational language correction. One-on-one attention used to be for the wealthiest. Now it can be available to all. Textbooks can confuse. With AI, a student can ask, "Explain photosynthesis. Pretend I'm 10. Use a pirate analogy. Only the 1,000 most common words." Personalized explanations are revolutionary. It meets students where they are and builds a bridge to where they need to go. Learning becomes an active dialogue. Argue with the AI, challenge assumptions, ask infinite what-ifs. This builds durable understanding and fosters curiosity. The student is no longer a passive vessel, but an active explorer with a patient guide. So, homework is dead. What takes its place? The answer isn't nothing. We don't just send students home to do whatever they want. We replace low-value tasks with high-value modern ones. We replace old homework with assignments that build the skills that matter. This isn't about eliminating work. It's about making the work meaningful. It's about designing tasks that are immune to being outsourced to a machine because they require a student's unique humanity, creativity, critical thought. First, replace rote practice with real-world projects. Instead of a percentage worksheet, analyze the school's budget and propose a new club. Research costs, calculate allocations, present to a panel. It requires math, research, collaboration, communication, problem solving, engaging, and impossible for AI alone. Second, introduce portfolios and home labs. Curate best work, projects, creative pieces, and reflections. Run safe, simple home experiments, collect real data, analyze findings over time. Shift from one-off performance to sustained creation. Measure what a student can do, not just remember. Finally, design creative challenges and AI-augmented tasks. Use AI to ideate, then layer human analysis and originality on top. These tasks don't ban AI, they leverage it, and then demand human judgment, creativity, and synthesis. We stand at a crossroads. We can choose the path of fear, clinging to worksheets and penalties, exhausting ourselves, fighting a battle against technology we will lose. This path leads to frustration, disengagement, and irrelevance. Or we can choose the path of courage. We can choose to evolve. See this moment not as a threat, but as the greatest opportunity for educational transformation in a generation. It will require imagination, professional development, and a willingness to let go. It requires administrators who support bold assignments. Shift the culture. Stop asking, how do we stop students from using AI? Start asking, how can we use AI to unlock deeper learning? Be brave enough to admit the old way wasn't as good as we thought. We can build something much, much better. This is a call to action. To every teacher, every principal, every school board member, the time for debate is over. The time for pilot programs is over. The technology is here. The students are already using it. Our only choice is whether we lead this change or are dragged by it. We must start redesigning our assignments today. We must focus on assessing the human skill of critical thinking, creativity, and collaboration. We must teach our students to be the masters of these new tools, not their servants. The students of 2025 deserve an education that prepares them for 2035, not 1995. They deserve assignments that spark their curiosity, not extinguish it. They deserve to be challenged in ways worthy of their human potential. We are the architects of that education. The tools are in our hands. The choice is ours. The teachers who win in 2025 are the ones who evolve. The rest get left behind.